Hello and welcome to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're back with another track guide, this time for the Formula 4 at Winton National. It's a great little combo. I didn't think it would be, but I had a lot more fun than I thought. This is using the fixed Winton iRacing setup and brake bias of 56%. If you are new to my channel, we do a hot lap of breakdown, then we're back in the cockpit one final time with the driving line on. All right, let's start the lap. Okay, let's go. Alright, smashing down the main straight, looking for this entrance road on the right hand side. We're going to brake up to about 75%, drop it down to 4th, flat out through these two turns. Looking for the 50 meter marker, we're going to drop it down to 4th and then 3rd at the apex, back on the gas. Just a lift here through turn 4 coming up, back on the gas, cutting that and using some grass. Goes to the right hand side, up to 5th gear, cutting this one close. Little lift, tiny dab on the brakes, down to 4th gear, feeling for the grip. This is a long braking zone, not hard, but long, as you can see, down to 2nd gear, back over to the right-hand side. You can see it's a bit of a slippery little bugger. Down to 2nd gear, up to 3rd, down to 2nd again. Back on the gas, exiting nice and wide. A lot of corrections that you're having to do around here. So just past the 50 meter marker, we're going to brake up to about 90%, down to 3rd gear. On the gas nice and early. Force you out wide, but that's fine. Big fan of trail braking, this track. Everything down to 3rd. Back on the gas, little lift. Back on the gas again. And there we have it. A 1 minute 16.591, was it? Yes, 1:16.591. Right, breakdown lap coming up next. Okay, hot lap. Right, so first off, this entrance road coming up here, so it's just towards the end of it, just before the 50 meter marker, and we're going to brake up to about 75%, drop it down to 4th, we're wiping that speed off in the straight line, trailing it off down to the apex, building back up on the gas, and as you can see, I'm mounting this curb, and I'm already at 100%. I'm then going to mount this curb, and I'm still on 100% gas, so you're just flooring it and just hoping for the best. Like kid, but only slightly. Next, it's just between this Marshall's hut and the 50 meter board on the left hand side, and we're going to brake up to about 75% again, very similar to the first corner. Trail it off, drop it down to 4th, and we're going to start getting back on the gas when we're at the apex. And as you can see, I'm back on 100% as I just give that little curb just a little tickle. Exit nice and wide, and at the end of the rumble strip, the white and red rumble strip, we're going to turn in. I'm going to do a lift down to, what, 20%, there or thereabouts, back on 100% when I'm at the apex, and yes, I am kissing the grass, and that's fine, but the center of my car is still over the rumble strip, so it's not an X. Exit nice and wide, back over to the right, so just after the 50 meters, we're going to be going up to 5th gear, and we're going to turn in, and we're going to do flat to this first apex. Once we get there, we're going to do a big lift down to nothing, tiny dab on the brakes up to about 16%. I get it into 4th gear. I give it a big blip of gas to make sure that the car's still moving in the right direction. I then do a lift, as you can see, just to get through this next apex. I'm flat on the gas again, flat through this apex. Now I'm going to come off. Yeah, turn 7 is quite a tricky one because your car's turning right to get through turn 6, but you've got to straighten your wheel and you're braking up to about 40% and just hold it and a really slow trail off. So if you come off really suddenly now, the weight distribution is going to move on the car and you're going to have a spin. So you've got to really slowly trail off down to 2nd gear as I am. Now once you get to this apex here of 7, that's when you can get back on the gas. Back out to the right-hand side for turn 8, up to 3rd gear, tiny dab on the brakes, and then we're going to trail it off, down to 2nd gear so that we can get that torque, moving the car on again, up to 3rd gear, and then similar again, up to 55%, and we're trailing it off, dropping it down to 2nd gear. As we get to the apex, we're looking to feed that power back on, and as I say, yeah, a few corrections. Turn 10, it's a lot faster than you think, so you don't need to over brake. So we go past the 50 meter board, and it's basically a hair's or a couple of beats after that. We're going to brake up to about 90%, trail it off down to 3rd gear, back on the gas at the apex, And then we come up to the final corner, same thing, 50-meter board on the right-hand side. Very similar braking markers to the V. It's going to be just after the 50, no, right bang on the 50. And again, we brake up to about 90%, drop it down to 4th, trail it off down to the apex, drop it down to 3rd, back on the gas as we get there. And then just a little dab on the brakes up to, 35% in 3rd gear, back on the gas at the apex. Very similar. So that's the breakdown lap. We have the driving line version coming up next. Any questions, let me know in the comments. As always, thanks so much for your continued support. I've been Sambo iRacing. I'll see you guys in the week. Cheers.